This lesson is on our safety manuals. This is more just giving you our safety manuals so you can use something for your own company. Our big thing on safety is we can't cover everything. Day to day, there are so many things that happen in the company that, you need to try your best to give people information to be safe while also giving enough information that you're protected from things that take place. And we have different manuals on like how to hook up a trailer properly, how to run machines properly. So that's why this three timber safety manual doesn't necessarily have every little thing in our company, but it does just it touches on a couple of things. So when we hire someone, they're aware that safety matters. So add anything you want. You can make it as long or as short as you want. You're kind of covering yourself from personal injuries. Because the reality of the situation is like, I just looked up the 2023 stats, and in the United States alone, over 5,100 people died at work due to work related injuries. That's wow, that's a lot of people. So protect yourself. Uh, let's just hop in here. So, three timbers, safety manual. Uh, Main points, I think, is us just expressing to every employee that Three Timbers is committed to providing safe working conditions for all its employees and is completely in compliance with all current and applicable occupational health, safety, environmental hazards. And laws. And that's really important because you just got to make it very clear right away that safety matters to you as a company because it does. Um, and beyond that, it's something that could sink your company. So if we go to our next line, employees have the responsibility to report unsafe working conditions promptly to their foreman or supervisor. You want to create a culture in which if someone's doing wheelies in a Bobcat, you're like, that's just unacceptable. If you want to go buy your own Bobcat and you want to go do it in your own driveway, great, but we're not doing that here. This safety manual is intended to help protect the safety and lives of all of our employees. Employees are required to read and understand and follow the safety rules. So there's a bunch of little random things in here. And the reality is, we just spell out the smallest things to largest things. And you can see, like, we even put in this, like, it's just a scratch. So many workers will overlook a small scratch, toughen it out instead of being inconvenienced by a trip to the first aid station. And the reality is, we're just documenting that the ball's in their court. We want them to go extreme when taking care of themselves. Like, we want to be extreme. Like, you do a little cut on your fingy, yeah, go get it looked at. So we want to create a culture in which it's like we care ultimately about their safety more than anything else on that job site. And that's just a reality of it. Like, we do care. If you choose truly to get a scratch and do nothing about it, that's on you. Like, people should have control of their own lives, but we are just saying in this report, you know what? We want you to report it. We want to take care of you. You can look through more of this, but another big one for us is taking regular breaks. Now, for us, we have a branch in Minnesota and Arizona. The breaks are really important in hot work environments. So, landscaping, that's manual labor. Like, you are working hard, you are sweating, you're exhausted. Um, we don't want our guys overheating. We don't want guys getting burnt out because it's just too rigorous. We obviously want guys to work hard, but to a point. So making sure we have our line item about taking regular breaks is really important. I'm not going to touch on using wrong tools for the job, but PPE, huge. Like in our industry, fertilizer, weed whacking, all that stuff. Make sure you're encouraging people to wear the safety glasses, wear the masks, do all of the things necessary to stay safe. If your employees don't do it, well, they don't do it. I know within our contract, we say like it's up to the manager to make employees do X, Y, and Z. Guys, the reality is when you're in the industry, some people just aren't going to do it. Like, it's the type of guys or gals that they are. They're just not going to throw the mask on. They don't care. They're not going to put safety glasses on. They don't care. It's inconvenient. You do your job to encourage them to be safe. And I would say, maybe this is against popular belief, but I'd say don't argue over it. Like, it is what it is. If you see something super unsafe, you can argue. You can be stern. You can be upset. If someone doesn't care about the effects they might have, the effects that might take place 20 years down the road using Roundup, and they just argue over and over they don't want to wear a mask. In my opinion, as a company owner, it's not the end of the world. But still spell it out, encourage them to do it so none of that can come back on you. I think it's huge over and over to just hit home on that culture, like report unsafe conditions to your supervisor. Report it, report it, report it. Last big thing is just staying sober. Like 3% workplace fatalities happen when people are drunk or using drugs. And I mean, our big thing is like, and this is another one of our contracts, or it might be in here. It's like, if you get in an accident, we are drug testing you right away. If you ruin a piece of equipment, same thing. Because if any of those incidents take place when you're not sober, um, that's coming back on you. Like, we have contracts in which that comes back on you. We're not paying for that. And it's just a danger to everyone involved. Last thing here, we just say it's up to the managers and supervisors to get their employees on board with workplace safety. Like, it comes down to our leadership. So I have this attached in this lesson. You guys can use it, you guys can edit it, all that good stuff. On top of that, when talking about safety, I have attached our first report of injury process. So this is what we also give to employees, just kind of breaking down what steps they take if an injury takes place. So if it's like life-threatening, you call 911 right away. That's all that matters. If it's not life-threatening, it's talking to a project manager, and then it's kind of works its way up the chain to the office to decide what to do. Um, then it kind of just breaks down the project manager's role. So it's their job to fill out an employee's first report of injury or illness. And what that is something that every state commonly has. So we are going to attach Minnesota's. So this comes from the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry. So this just makes you fill out all the information, kind of what took place, the employee's information, and then this is something you submit for both the state for workers' comp, and you can give this to your insurance. Outside of that, that's kind of safety. That's our safety manual into what happens if someone gets injured, into forms that you need to submit. So hope this was helpful, and hopefully you can implement it so you're covered if something happens in the company.